The worst moment of my life, I'll probably say, is when I broke up with my girlfriend. In that space of time, it was like everything around me came crashing down. I broke up with my girlfriend, I failed my exams, so I had to go back and retake another year of doing the same subject. Basically, I was in complete debt to something that wasn't my fault. So with that, it created, all of it started to build like a kind of like heaviness on top of my shoulders, because every day I'll be leaving my house and I'll be thinking I've got debts, I'm single, and I've now failed my another exam again. I failed my course initially. So as I was walking around, I met one of the members who was attending the church at the time. The way the guy was projecting himself, it was something that I've never experienced before. The services backed me up, but it was what he was saying as well that it officially backed me up to make me feel more encouraged to carry on. And when I started to see his example, I reapplied for a course that I failed. The funny thing is I passed the course with flying colours. I was one of the top ones in the class, and then through it I started to apply myself to do different things because he kept telling me I could achieve it. It got to that point of those words that were said to me from that time, it's feeding me and it still feeds me to this day. And now all I've got in my mind is sky's the limit.
Hello, a very good evening and welcome to Finding Answers. You know, in the world, you are pretty much valued by what you have. When people look at you, they usually see your bank balance. If you walk into a hotel, if you walk into a restaurant, if you walk into a store, a car showroom, usually the way that you dress already tells people, you know, how much you're worth, if they should invest time in you or not. And we know we don't want to be seen like this. But the question tonight is, who is greater, you or your bank balance? In fact, a little bit later, I'm going to give you an example using this 20-pound note, right? I have here in my hand a 20-pound note. And you can't buy a lot of things with 20 pounds these days. Gone are the days when I remember, hi, good evening, Esther, how are you?
Good evening.
I was just going to say, I remember when I was dating my wife, with 20 pounds, we would go out and eat something, buy a bus pass for both of us, still go to the cinema and have a few pounds left change.
Wow, that's good.
Those times are gone, right?
Yeah, long gone.
And we know that here in this, actually all over the world, unfortunately, people judge us by how we dress, by the car we drive. And it's not fair that people are judged by what they have, right?
Yeah, it's a sad fact, but it's true. I mean, it takes money to do everything nowadays. You know, you get a bus, like you were saying, you go on a date, everything costs money. So it's always in the forefront of our minds. And today we'll be discussing you or your bank balance, like you said, James. And we want to examine this idea of getting our bank balance entwined with our identity and our money worries becoming so much part of us that we can't carry on.
And actually, I think a lot of people worry that if they don't have a certain amount of money, then that makes them less valuable, less worthy of people's attention. Some men feel that because they don't earn a certain amount of money, then some women won't even look at them. So a lot of people think that money has an impact on who they are and what they can do. Yeah,
I mean, it depends on your personality. Some people, you probably know people that they can get through their salary week 2, you know, and then there's other people who'll hold on to it. But, you know, who suffers more, who has more freedom, it's hard to say, really.
Yeah. And what we don't want you to live as if you are, you know, you cannot put a value on you because of the money that you make or the money that you've saved in the bank. Because whatever you are worth, whatever your value is, for example, if you ask a child, a baby, not a baby, but a child, as they're growing up, what they want to do when they grow up, you know, they give you answers, they say things that they're not measured. They don't think, if my parents don't have money to send me to university so I become a doctor or a pilot. They say what they really want to do because their imagination is not held back by their parents' bank balance. For them, they can be whoever they want, right?
Yeah, that's a really nice way of looking at it, actually. Yeah. I had a question for some people on the streets when I did Vox Pops, and I said to them, if money were no object, would you still be doing the job that you're currently doing? And a lot of people were like, no way, I wouldn't be doing this. I was like, well, you know, do your dream job, but it's money that got in the way, sadly.
And sometimes you start tying yourself down to circumstances and start thinking that you can't do certain things, that you can't have certain things, that you can't have a relationship, that you lose your value because of your balance, your bank balance, because of the money you have or you don't have. Now here's what I want to show you with this 20-pound note, right? If I take this 20-pound note, I can go into a shop and buy anything, as long as it's under the value of 20 pounds, right? And it doesn't matter if the note is crisp, like this. This is a very crisp and neat looking 20-pound note. Or it doesn't matter if it's like this, right? Or like this. Or it doesn't even matter if I take this note and squash it in my hand, like this, right? And then I throw it on the floor like that. You can see the 20-pound note there. And even if I do that, even if I step on that 20-pound note, guess what? When I pick it up and I go to the store and I use it, people will still take it. Do you know why? Because a 20-pound note never loses its value. What about you? Do you still believe that you have the same value that you had when you were a child? Or when you look at you, you think, I'm not worth as much as I was before. My dreams are not possible for me to, it's not possible for me to reach my dreams anymore. Perhaps you think that your life has hit you so hard that you went from this person who had all these dreams, these things that you wanted to achieve, and now you don't believe you can do that anymore. Perhaps you don't think you have the same value you had before. You think you are much less valued. And Esther, I even want to ask your opinion as a woman, because I know that, for example, there are women that because they have been abused in relationships or because they've gone through terrible things in relationships, they start to lose their value. And it's not true. A woman is not valued by what people have done to her. Her value will always be the same, or perhaps she'll even become more valuable because of what she went through and she got stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Her journey is really important, what she did to get to rise back up. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's easy to say, but a lot of people do feel devalued by what's happened to them. And mm-hmm. like you say with the 20-pound note, you know, someone's personality or someone's security can be stepped on and crunched, and they don't always spring back. Sometimes mm-hmm. they stay down and they need to feel that worth.
Yeah, but it's possible for you to jump back up and get your life back and get your worth back. And perhaps you feel like this 20-pound note that I just showed you. You feel like the world has stepped on you. You feel that the people that once valued you deceived you, hurt you, and you feel like that, like the world, the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You feel like you lost your sense of worth, of value, and you want to get that back. You say, look, James, if God can help me with this, I want to be a stronger person. I want to feel like I can take on the world again. I want to feel like I can fight back against these problems in my health, these problems in my present life. I want to get my life back. I want to get my worth back. God can do that with you. He can take your life and change your life. No matter what you feel your worth is right now, He can change what you're going through. You will be hearing the story of someone later in the program that perhaps one of the worst things he's done for money is that he stole money from a church. You heard well. He stole money from a church. And you will hear his story in just a moment. That's how low he stooped in order to get money. But you haven't even heard half the story. And maybe you say, James, I'm devalued right now. I need a change in my life. I need someone to believe in me because I don't even believe in myself anymore. And you know, Esther, we usually say to people that it's important they believe in God, but you also have to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you?
Yeah, I agree, absolutely.
Do you agree with me? I can come here and say, Esther, I don't really believe in you, but it doesn't matter what I believe or not. If you believe in yourself, no one can stop you.
Yeah, you've got to protect yourself. You know, there's plenty of people out there. Well, this sounds a bit negative, but there is plenty of people out there that will devalue you. So you've got to value yourself. And yeah, money is a good example of that, definitely.
Yeah. And you don't always have to have everyone believing in you. You are the key. If you believe in yourself, if you believe that you can get this worth back, then your life can change. If you want to speak to someone right now, if you say, James, I've lost my value, I've lost my worth, I feel like that 20-pound note you showed, but I want to get my life back, then the number to call is 020-7686-6300. But I want you to do that now. Don't put this off. You are the most valuable thing that you're ever going to have, that you can buy whatever, you can buy a Ferrari. You're more important and more valuable than that. Because your value can increase. You can become stronger, better. Even if you don't feel like that right now, you can get your strength back. So if you want to speak to someone now, if you feel down, weak, if you say, I want someone to show me that my life can change, then dial that number or send us an email. Esther is here with the iPad. She can read your email as they come through. The email address is help@findinganswers.tv. help@findinganswers.tv. We're going to go into a break. When we come back, we'll be speaking to Sherwain, who will be telling us what he did in order to get by and the point that he even robbed from a church. We'll be right back.
This is your UCKG timetable. We are open 7 days a week, helping you to make a new beginning. Mondays, a meeting focused on achieving more in your financial life. Tuesdays, prayers for healing. Wednesdays, a meeting teaching you to develop in your spiritual life. Thursdays, a special prayer for the family. Friday, a service for your spiritual deliverance. Saturdays, Find the One, a service specifically tailored for your love life. Sundays, Reconnect with God, the main meeting for your spiritual strength.
If God can hold all the waters of the ocean in the palm of His hands, imagine the problem of the person.
You can't say that your problem is bigger than these waters, than the ocean.
No matter how big a building is, a monument is, from where we're standing, it looks tiny.
What God wants to do is to raise you up. As you can see, the sun is setting behind us. And maybe in the same way, your life is going down. Maybe in the same way, happiness is going down.
Even if the sun goes down now, tomorrow, it's guaranteed that whether you see the clouds or something's blocking the sun, but the sun will be there. By the way, if you would like to add your name to that prayer book that you saw us praying there, you can call the number, again, 020-7686-6300, or you can even add your name by email, or your family's name, whoever's going through a problem. Maybe you're not the one feeling devalued. You're not the one feeling like you've lost your worth, but maybe your partner feels like that. Maybe someone you even try to encourage to lift the person up, but maybe it's not working. So you can send an email on their behalf, write their names. We're going to be praying for them. Okay, I want to show you this quick video, and then we'll be speaking to Sherwain.
Last year, 54-year-old homeless man Glenn James became a hero in his hometown of Boston in the USA after turning in a backpack full of money, more than $40,000 in cash and traveler's checks to be exact. Glenn James discovered the abandoned backpack in a Boston shopping complex. He peeked inside to find the immense loot. What would you have done? James recalled to news reporters, "I noticed a lot of $100 bills, and I said to myself, oh my goodness, this has to be returned to its rightful owner." James, the former Boston courthouse employee, had fallen on hard times, becoming homeless after losing his job in 2005, but said that he would not have tried to keep any of the money he had found. He also relayed to the reporters, "Even if I were desperate for money, I would not have kept even a penny of the money I found. I am extremely religious. God has always very well looked after me." When he handed in the bag, Glenn James was honored by Boston Police Commissioner Edward Davies and given a special citation and thanked for an extraordinary show of character and honesty. More than 500 miles away in the state of Virginia, Ethan Whittington read about the story online, and he decided the Good Samaritan deserved more than a plaque. So he started an online campaign to help James. The effort has raised more than $140,000 from people around the world. A trust has also been created to help with tax issues and to ensure that the funds are used specifically to help James and not be spent on drugs and alcohol. James also suffers from Meniere's disease, which has vertigo-like symptoms. The bag has since been returned to its rightful owner, just as Glenn desired. Glenn James showed that he may have been homeless, but he was rich in character.
So that was Glenn James there, very rich in character indeed. So Glenn found a big bag of money and decided immediately to give it back to the rightful owner. I don't really know, if I'm completely honest, what I would have done. He was homeless, he didn't have any money, and he decided to give it back. So what would you do, or what would you do if you were in that situation? Send us an email or call us. The number is 0207 686 6300, or send us an email at help@findinganswers.tv. We'd love to hear what you would have done.
And by the way, certainly someone who whose life and whose personality and character is not judged by his bank account, right? Because a lot of people who perhaps would have a lot of money in this situation would not have done what he did, right? So just something to bear in mind. Now, I want to introduce you to Sherwain, who's here with me tonight. How are you, Sherwain?
Very good.
Thanks for coming. Now, Sherwain, before we go into the time that you stole from a church,
Yeah.
right? We want to find out first, what led you to go through a situation like that? I mean, did you go through financial problems? How did your story start?
I mean, basically started from home because I grew up in a family with step-parents, basically, and I wasn't getting like the financial support that I needed at home, just like basic stuff for school. I wasn't getting that, like trainers, clothes that I needed. I wasn't getting no money at all from my family. No support, and growing up seeing my stepbrothers and sisters getting treated with like latest stuff, and I'm getting the rubbish, and obviously that built up a lot of like, why me? Why come I don't get the same things as everyone else? Why am I being treated differently? So that got me involved with like robbery and stuff like that. So because I wasn't getting that from home, I said to myself, you know what? I need to find a way to get money for myself, because if my parents are not going to support me and buy me stuff that I need, I thought I might as well go outside and get things myself. So you were put to one side, as it were. Yeah.
Did you feel like that?
Yeah, that's how I felt, because I just felt like I was just put down. I wasn't lifted up. I wasn't encouraged to study in school, pursue college or nothing like that. I was just made to feel like I was the black sheep, basically, of the family, just left out.
Did you feel like that £20 note we were speaking about earlier?
Yeah, I felt devalued. I didn't feel like I was worth anything because I was just in the house, just doing nothing with myself. I wasn't getting the support that I needed. And that just built up a lot of thoughts inside of me to go and do stuff, start getting involved with wrong stuff. So I just started pursuing that idea in my head. And then I just like formed with groups of other people. We used to go outside to rob people.
How did you first get involved in a gang? Because I mean, even if a young guy doesn't have money or he wants things that he can't afford them, he doesn't necessarily go out looking for a gang to join. So how did you fall into that lifestyle? I
fall into that gang lifestyle because I didn't get that love from my family. I didn't get that support that I needed and the attention. So because I wasn't getting that from them, I was getting it from my friends outside. So I thought, okay, well, I'm getting the love from them. I'm able to talk to them. I'm able to interact with them. So I thought, okay, well, this is my family now. So whatever we were planning to do, that's what I thought, yeah, that's the best way forward because I knew they would always have my back. So to me, that was like the way forward. So that's what made me to say, you know what, let me start robbing people. Let me start robbing stuff. I wasn't thinking, I want to get in trouble by the police. I wasn't worried about what my parents or family's going to think because I thought to myself, they don't care about me. If they did, they would have supported me and helped me with stuff.
So when you said you started robbing people, would that be just anyone that you would see in the street, regardless of age, sex? I mean, would you choose your targets? What would you do?
We'll just rob anyone we see. Literally, imagine you being on a bus and you see 40 to 50 guys coming on a bus and you're there by yourself. It got to that point that some of us will even rob your clothes. So if we see you have a good pair of trainers, jeans, we'll take the jeans off you, the trainers off you, we'll just strip you and you just go home with your boxers. That's how we was going. I remember even times I've robbed people that was disabled.
You robbed someone who was disabled?
Yeah, got to that point.
So when you did that, I mean, didn't you think, I mean, this person's disabled? I mean, robbing someone who's able-bodied is bad. Robbing someone who's disabled is even worse. Didn't you think I shouldn't be doing this? Did your conscience not say this is not a good thing to do?
At the time, I wasn't thinking. At the time, I was just thought, well, they've got the latest phone. They've got something that I need, that I want, that I can sell for money. So I thought, just do it. Yes, my conscience was playing around with me after, but I didn't think nothing about it. I just brushed it away because to me it was just something that I could gain money from.
Right. And in doing that, you were losing your value even more.
Yeah. Every day I was losing my value. Every day I kept on plotting to do bigger stuff. Even got to the point that we started like planning to rob people's houses, like burgle people's houses. We was even trying to befriend people to be friends with them and making them think that they can trust us so we can get into their houses and stuff like that. We used to plan to go places that we knew that had money, like rich areas. Go there, socialize with the people, friend them, let them invite us to their house. And then, yeah, they'll be thinking, oh, we're friends, but literally we was there to rob their house. So it's things like that that I got myself involved with. And during all this time, like, I never once felt happy. To me, it was just like something I had to do. It's like a routine. I didn't think, what's the people going to think? I didn't care. To me, it's just about making my money at the end of the day.
Right. And when you would think about your future, when you would project the future, because you were doing all these negative things, did you think you could have a career? Did you think you could have a family? Did you think you could ever have a normal life?
No, at that time and at that point, I would never look and say, okay, I'm going to be someone in my life, because having all the negative words my father used to say to me, that you're going to be no one, you're going to be cleaning the toilet, sweeping roads.
He said that to you?
Yeah, he used to say these things all the time to me, and I used to think, why? But it's like, it was holding me down, because I thought to myself, how come my own father told me that I'm going to be cleaning toilets and sweeping roads?
Let me just stop you right there. I mean, I didn't have the perfect family, but I can't imagine my parents saying that to me. No matter how problematic my family were, they always encouraged me. And I understand we were saying earlier that no matter what happens to you, your value never diminishes. But the thing is that if your value diminishes in your mind about yourself, then you're in trouble. And if someone keeps saying to you, maybe you grew up listening to this. Someone was telling me recently that because they heard these things growing up, all they could do to take the pain was to self-harm, to cut their arms, their legs, so they're full of scars. And it's difficult to tell someone, look, don't do that. I mean, it's easy to say it, but it's difficult for someone to see that they're worth a lot more because, you know, if you keep hearing something all the time, it comes to a point where you start believing it. I mean, I don't think your future was to clean toilets so much so that you have a very different life now. But you keep hearing that all the time, it starts to sink in, right?
Yeah, because it was constantly, like daily, saying you're stupid. I remember even got to the point that my parents actually did IQ tests with me and my younger brother. And it's like something like that, it's like to put me to shame, to say like, look, your brother, he's 4 years younger than you, but his thinking age is like 2-3 years above you. And to my age, my thinking age was below his age group. And things like that, it hurt me because I thought to myself, why would you do that? And then to broadcast it to the other family, look, he's dunce, he hasn't got no sense, he doesn't know how to think. Like, how can his younger brother be smarter than him?
Listen, I need to stop you there again. And I want to say something to you. You know, maybe nobody believes in you. Maybe you used to hear this from people. Maybe people say this to you all the time. You're no good. You're never going to get anywhere in life. You're never going to have a proper job. You know, no matter how rejected you've been, there's one person who never stops believing in you, and that's God. And we never stop believing in you as well. No matter what you've been told, no matter how down in the dumps you are, we believe in you. Right? You came to the church, Sherwain. I have here in my notes that you were kicked out of your home.
Yeah, at the age of 17, I was kicked out. And when I was kicked out, all I was given was my passport and £3.50 in my bank account. And that's all I had to basically live on. And to me, it was like, well, where am I going to go? Like, I didn't know where to go.
When you came to the church, what did you have? What kind of life did you have at that time?
When I came to the church, I basically had nothing. Like, the things I had, like, physically was all stolen. Even food to eat, I didn't have food because I remember I used to have to make friends with the people in the takeaway shops just to get free food from them. I used to like just wait around late when it's just before the shop closed just to get free food. I remember even going to like friends' house when it's dinner time just so I can sit down with their family and have dinner, just to make it like I just came around at that time just to visit, but really and truly I was there just to have dinner because I didn't have the food that I needed to eat. And even got to that point that I went to one of my local churches I used to go and I robbed the money from the Sunday school because it got that bad that I needed money, and anything that I saw that was valuable to me that I will take. I didn't think at the time, oh, what's the consequences? To me, I needed money to survive.
Who believed in you?
No one believed in me at that time. No one at all. It was just, to me, it's like I was trying to fight for myself, but at that time I didn't have the strength because literally hearing the words from my dad repeating in my head, I didn't have no strength. And it took a good while for me to say to myself, do you know what, I need help.
So, I mean, your situation was dire, was critical. And you see, Esther, that people don't talk about this. People don't look at, when you see people, here in London especially, you think everyone lives an okay kind of life. But his situation was dire. And I'm sure there are people right now who are struggling like this, who maybe nobody believes in them. And it's tough when no one believes that you have a future. Yeah,
but the important thing is to not feel alone. You're not alone. There's plenty of people out there that are sadly also looking for help. We've had a lot of people give their name in for the prayer book, which is great, and you can still do that now. And we've had an email in from Simon, and Simon says, I attend the church, I'm a regular in the church. I've taken part in 2 previous campaigns of Israel and I give my very all. I've recently started a business and I'm not seeing God's hand as much as I see God's hand in others. I'm a faithful person, but I have been feeling down today and I need help because I want to see God's hand shine in my financial life so I can make a difference in the lives of others. And that's from Simon.
Okay, Simon, we're going to be praying for you. I would advise you, give us a call, speak to someone. You don't need to come live on air, but speak to someone, because if things are tough right now, we're going to fight against this together and you can overcome this. Do we have all the names for the prayer that have come through?
We have, yes. Do you want me to read the names out?
Or maybe we can come after the break and read the names. So we're going to go into a break. Don't go anywhere, because you're going to see and hear how the man who robbed from a church and he used to make friends with people in the local takeaway shop so that he could survive. We're going to see how he turned his life around. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We want to read at least some of the names that are coming in for the prayer. If we can't read them all, forgive us, but they will be included in our prayer book because we still have to finish listening to Sherwain's story. Can we get some? Can you read some of the names, Esther, please?
Yes, absolutely. Some of the names that have come in are Lillian, Ivalda Mendez, Bianca Oates, Val Hay, Yvette Imhinsqua, and Claudia. We also have a Louis, and we've got an email. Louis sent in an email. Louis, we will get back to your email, not right now, but just at the end of the show or after
Absolutely.
the show.
So forgive us if we can't read all the names they are coming through, but we will be praying for you at the end of the program, okay? Now, before we go and listen to Sherwain's rest of the story, let's see what the people in London have to say about what's greater, you or your bank balance.
You know, there's no stereotype anymore.
Protect yourself, sometimes you probably do.
It will heal, but it will always...
They're humans, they have the ability to use their initiative.
Find it difficult to just be happy in this life.
Hello, I'm Esther Shepherd and I'm here from Finding Answers today on the streets. Now, some of us want it, some of us have it. Money, the big question. Who would win in a fight, you or your bank balance? Let's go and find out. How important is money in your life?
I think it's very, very important, and it's affected all my life. No, I think a healthy family and good family, it's much better. But to achieve these things, it's connected directly with money. So money is important. In our country they say with money you cannot buy health, but it makes it much easier to get health.
I work in the things that make me good. If I like the things, I do it. If not, I don't. So if I get a little bit less money, it's okay. But I do what I want. So that's why I work in what I like. I'm a coach, teacher. I like this. I know that I don't get a lot of money, but this is my mind, the state of mind.
But you're happy?
Yes, of course, with my work.
So I believe to have money, it's all to do with the desire. And the desire to want to have money will be the aspiration, wanting to be, to work hard in order to make this money that will give you this final entire happiness. But really, some people can actually do without money, you know, depending on what you feel in terms of what you need and what kind of money you're talking about in terms of cash.
I think a wee bit. I think I get quite stressed if I don't have a lot of money in my bank account, so that makes me sort of like nervous and things like that. So I'd like to have a lot of money. I don't know if it's happiness, but I do like it. So it seems to always be on my mind, thinking if I go out and do this and I'll spend this much, then I'm always like thinking of how much money I've got. So
what you need is God, because God is the boss. God gives us everything.
Not a lot, just to live, just to eat, but not really important. I don't mind if I have a lot of money or not. For me, it's not important. It's more important the life, the polite people or something like that.
So he said all you need is God, but God doesn't pay your rent at the end of the month. You still have to work. He does. You need him so that he can bless you. So you do need him, but you also need, unfortunately, money in this world is a necessary evil, shall we call it like that. But it can also be used for good, right? So Sherwain, when you came to the church, no one believed in you. What you had on you was stolen, right?
Yes.
How did you turn your life around?
Basically, just attending the meetings we have in the church, like the Monday meetings that help you with financial life, the Wednesday meetings, the Friday meetings. I started taking it seriously because I was hearing other people giving examples of their life, how their life was and how they took part in the meetings and how their lives got changed. And I thought to myself, I want to be there as well. I want to give my example soon. So I started attending the meetings more regularly, putting the things I was learning into practice, getting taught how to use my faith. And I wasn't getting told that I was no one, I was nothing. So that lifted me up. And all these negative words I was getting told before, I used them as a strength to help me to do better. So I started taking what I was learning, putting it into practice. I started pursuing stuff. Started pursuing jobs, because before I wasn't getting no jobs. But now I was learning what to do, how to apply what I was learning and put it into action. So I took steps. Things started changing, but not overnight, because I know a lot of people think things will happen straight away, but sometimes it might take a little while, it might take a month, 2 months, but I kept on persistent, I kept on doing what I was doing. The advisors were advising me on things what to do, how to take steps and how to pursue certain stuff, and all those stuff obviously helped me build up my confidence. I remember the people, just the people alone, like, gave me hope, because they was friendly, they was willing to sit down with me, give me advice. It wasn't something that I had to wait for people. People was always there to help me. So that gave me a good boost.
So you went from an environment of no one believing in you to another environment where everyone believed in you and in your potential. And how are things today, Sherwain?
Today, well, everything's, I would say things has turned from the bottom to the top, basically. Today I'm a project manager for my local council. I manage a project for young people.
Does your local council know that you used to steal from people in the streets? No. So you now have a dignified life, right? And so you're a project manager for your local council. What else?
I'm able to drive the cars that I want. Now I've got my 3rd car. Now I'm married as well. I didn't think I would get married because that wasn't going well with my family at all. But now I'm married. I'm getting promotions after promotions. Like, all my targets are above all the standards. I'm never lacking. Like, my view and my vision of things now is much clearer.
And where's that IQ test when you need it, right? Because you could take that IQ test and say, listen, here's what I think of this IQ test. And your life proves that if you have God with you, then you don't need all that, right? You can change your life around. Your testimony is amazing, your story is amazing, and you're still at the beginning.
Yes, definitely. I've got much more to come. I've still got more things to fight for. But
let me ask you something. If when you started attending the church, if someone said to you, Sherwain, in a few years you'll be married, you'll have 3 cars, you'll be a project manager for your local council, would you believe it at that time? I
don't think I would. To be honest, I don't think I would, because of what I was being told before. I wouldn't think I would be where I am today. Especially having no qualification, left school, no GCSEs whatsoever. I wouldn't think I would be managing a project for the local council and doing so good in my career.
That's great. That's awesome. I really enjoyed listening to your story, and thank you, because what I hope that people at home do tonight is, you know, you heard the story here of a former petty criminal, right? Someone that you wouldn't want to have in your neighborhood, to someone who now you would love to have as a neighbor, as a friend, right? And you see that now he's uncovering the potential, the value that he always had. The problem is that when you don't see your own potential, who's going to see it? Sometimes you find someone who takes the time to look at you and see that you have potential. And sometimes that is in the church or at work. Someone sees that you can do and be someone who's great. But the thing is that it has to start within you. And maybe you say, James, I don't believe in myself anymore. I've lost my faith in myself. I believe in God, but I don't believe in myself. I don't believe that I can do great things. I don't believe that my life can get any better. I believe that where I live and the little that I have and perhaps the loneliness that I have is as good as it's ever going to get. And we need to bin that thought, to get rid of that thought, because things can change. They can. If you learn to put your faith in practice, things can change, and they will. We're going to go into a short break. When I come back from the break, I'll have here with me one of the pastors, Pastor Roland, who'll be reading the mail of the day, even though we've had a lot of emails come through, but he'll be reading and advising that person. At the end of the program, we will finish rather with a prayer, a strong prayer, because just first to finalize, Sherwain, you robbed from a church before.
Yes.
So you heard prayers before.
Definitely.
But when you came to this church, something different happened. Something different happened. That prayer was not the usual prayer you heard. There was something different there that helped you to turn your life around. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, I would say that, because where I was going before, I didn't think that the church was really helping me. I was just going there with my same problems, with my life upside down, and I wasn't getting that support that I needed. But obviously when I came to this church, it's like I got the support. People was there to speak to me, to help me, to reassure me that things will change. And that made me to believe in myself. And obviously what I was hearing, I knew it was real. It wasn't something just to make me feel happy. Because as soon as I feel, yeah, you'll feel happy at that moment, but then when you leave, you'll leave in the same way. But I knew when I was there, it wasn't just to make me feel happy. It was sincere, like they all really wanted to help me. They really wanted to help me. And I saw that. That's why I'm here today.
That's great. Thank you so much. We're going to go into a very short break. We'll be right back.
Log on to uckg.org for all the latest happenings at the UCKG Help Centre. It's dynamic, interesting and full of content that will add to your daily life. Keep up to date with all the latest info on events up and down the country at a UCKG closest to you. There's something for everyone and you're invited. Check out what we've done previously and update your calendar with what's coming up next. Ladies, especially for you, presenters and authors Nanda Becerra, Esther Becerra, Chris Cardoso and Viviane Freitas share with you advice on becoming a better woman. Read their top tips on health, beauty, love and well-being, all aimed at helping you become the woman you were created to be. And if you're looking for food for the soul and personal development, then check out messages from world-renowned spiritual leader Bishop Macedo, as well as character-building blogs from Bishops Renato and Celso Jr. It's spiritual intelligence for your life. And for all you young guys and girls, why not check out our section dedicated to youth? Real talk, real advice, and a whole lot of fun. Catch cool clips of their shows and listen to the catchiest VYG record track. Want some inspiration? Watch our live transformational videos, recent programs, plus all the promos and coverage of some of our best shows and events.
Hello, very good evening to all of you. This is Finding Answers.
Finding us is easy. Wherever you are in the UK, find the UCKG nearest to you at a click of a button. uckg.org. All you need at your fingertips.
Welcome back. Let's go now to Pastor Roland, who's here with me, and he'll be reading the mail of the day. Good evening, Pastor Roland.
Good evening, James. Good evening to all that are watching us today. And Susan wrote for us. She said like this: I felt like financially, my life is a complete mess. Through bad decisions and bad circumstances, I have horrible credit and no savings. I can't get a bank account and feel like my future is completely hopeless. I am 27 and hoping to one day get married, have a family, and so on. But don't see that as a viable option with my financial situation. I have long given up the idea that magic will come along and fix my situation. And I know what I have to do is to save money. But I'm a kind of at a loss as to how to get started. I have a steady job with a decent income of $24,000 in a year. And I pay rent, I pay for my car, I pay for insurance, for student loans, utilities, and whatever I can manage towards my past credit card debts. What would you recommend my next step be? What do we do when you have messed up everything so badly? Well, Susan, get organized. That would be my first advice. If I would approach this situation with natural eyes, I would cry next to you. I believe everyone that listened to your story would say that there is no way out. But through the eyes of faith, everything is possible. It's easy for you to see a way out once you believe that God is by your side. But talking physically, let's speak like materially speaking, for you to come out of this situation, and I mean get organized by watching over what you are spending. That would be a good advice, James. You know, there are people that they don't buy anymore big amount, things with big amount, huge amounts, because they don't have the condition anymore. But they don't look after what is this little money that they spend, fast food, a cold drink, and £5 here, £10 tomorrow. In the end of the month, in the end of the day, a big amount, a big sum could be used to pay that debt. And there are people that are not observing these little amounts that they spend. I think that could be the first advice for this person. And for those who are watching us and feel also inspired by these stories here, and once more advice, as I will give to Susan, I'll reply the email, Susan, and I will give you more guidance on what you can do. But you that want as well more guidance, send us this email. Send to help at finances.tv. We'll be able to reply and help you. But indeed, people need to find a way out of their situations. And I think that only faith can help them more than what is happening around, because things doesn't get better by itself, James.
And it's important, you were saying that she's trying to get out of that situation slowly. It's important to remember, to get into debt, you can get into debt very quickly, right? One expenditure can drive you badly into debt. Climbing out of that debt, that's the problem. Remember that. Now, I actually want to do something different here tonight. I will be holding in my hand during the prayer the iPad where you sent your emails to. We haven't been able to transfer the names yet to the prayer book. That's why I'll be holding the iPad on my hands during the prayer to ask for you. I won't be able to mention all the names, perhaps some, but we'll be asking God to touch your life. If you want to prepare a glass with water, you can do that. Pastor Roland already has his. Sherwain will be here with us during the prayer. He'll have his as well. But I'll be having your names, you that emailed. I know that there was someone who emailed saying they're trying to call, but the lines are quite busy here. Bear with us, even though we have a team of people there answering the calls. People are trying to get through to us, because I believe this message we spoke about today is so important, of not losing your value. So prepare your glass with water. I'll be having your names here through the iPad in my hands, and I'll be asking God to touch your life from tonight. The God who raised Sherwain from a petty criminal to a man with a career and a family, that He will do the same in your life. Let's talk to God.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like a prayer concerning your financial life, send your name and prayer request to prayer@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord, in the name of Jesus, we come before you on behalf of these people that are praying with us. People that perhaps doesn't know what to do anymore, to come out of their situations, as Susan said. People that needs to see a way out, in the very same way we heard here today through the testimony. My God, we pray so that these people may find your power and come out of their situations, because there is nothing impossible for you, my God. So help this person, strengthening them, in order this person to find solution ahead of them. You can do it. You can lift up the life of this person through this prayer. Give to this person the strength, because I'm sure you believe in this person. And once she believes in herself and in the power of faith, she'll be able to see, my Lord, your power and glorify your name in her life.
Yes, my Lord, and I want to pray now for all those who emailed in, although I will not be able to read all their names. But you know who they are. They're here in my hands. And even though we may not mention their names here now in this program, we'll be praying for them later, and you know who they are. So I pray for Olympia Fragoso and her family. I pray for Val Hay, Mary Riley, for Shrey, Mara, Isabel, Lillian, and all those whose names we are not able to pronounce now, that you may stretch out your hands, my God, to bring back the value, the worth that perhaps this person has never received from anyone. Maybe no one ever said to them how important they are, the potential that they have, how great their life can be. But I believe, my God, that you can remind this person that you made them. You made them in your image. And if you made us in your image, how can we be on this earth to suffer? If you made us in your image, how can we be content with disease, with problems that were not created by you? My Lord, lift up those who are fallen, those who feel like that note we showed in the beginning, and may their lives be completely different from the moment that they learn to use their faith. In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. You may now drink of this water that has been blessed. You know, the biggest mistake you could make, or not the biggest, but one of the biggest mistakes you could make is to say, this God blessed Sherwain, but I'm not sure he's going to bless me. He blessed those other people that always come on those programs, but he's not really going to bless me. Why not? Why would God bless him and not you? The truth is, he wants to change your life. And the moment that you come to him with faith, no matter who you are, then he will change your life. One of the biggest mistakes people make is to think they have to be perfect. You certainly weren't perfect, right, Sherwain? You were a criminal.
Yes.
And a bad one.
Definitely.
Right? But if God took him and changed his life, he can do that to you as well. Until tomorrow, have a wonderful night. May God bless you.